Hey, I'm Carla.
I'm Heidi.
And we're the Butcher Babies. Listen to toxicradio.net.
Don't play it safe, play it toxic.
Hey, buddy. Rah. Hey, man, that's a sweet heavy metal happy hour t-shirt. Where'd you pick that up?
Thanks, dude. I got it at the Toxic Radio shop.
Toxic Radio has a shop?
Yeah, dude. It's in the app or online at toxicradio.net.
That is sweet.
Yeah, and I also got a rockin' Toxic Radio hoodie and a Red Band Underground shirt. Dude, I'm gonna look so rockin' at the party tomorrow.
Well, I think you look pretty now.
Oh, wait, what?
The Toxic Radio shop is the place to get all your Toxic Radio gear. Shirts, hoodies, stickers. Find it at toxicradio.net or on the app. Don't buy it safe. Buy it toxic. Hey, where you going, man?
Hi, it's Steve Morrison from the President Steve Show, and you're listening to Toxic Radio. Get infected like you would with a cheap hooker.
While you're rocking with us at Toxic Radio, don't forget to check us out on social media.
I want details, and I want them right now.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Now you're talking, brother.
Chat with us, keep up on news. Just don't make it weird. Don't be a stalker. Don't be that guy.
You just want to suck the joy out of everything.
Toxic Radio. Get infected.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Taking a Deep as I cup my mic like nuts. Chestnuts on open fire. Welcome back. We are here. So, how's everyone doing out there? We got a lot to talk about. TheGodfrey, that is me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Call and be part of the show, 856-485-9565. So let me just check. And
did you just do that again?
Again. Well, that's what the OtterBox is for.
So people don't know real fast. So I am Toxic Mike, jumping in real fast because I have to laugh loud enough that you can hear me. Because before we started the show, Matt did spill it already once all over everything, and he spilled it again.
Twice.
I mean, we had Hungry for Hope in here last night, and usually those guys are the guys that make a mess with all the food and everything, but they were actually pretty clean, and Matt comes in here like a rock star, just flinging liquid everywhere.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
Just right out of my fire hose everywhere, dude. Craziness. So, yeah. A lot to talk about, a lot of craziness going on. Flushing toilets, being a clown, me personally. But a lot of sports games getting canceled. Did you know that, Mike? Like a lot of teams are choosing not to play over the Jacob Blake shooting. They're
actually choosing not to play, not just take a knee or anything?
They're choosing not to play, yeah.
Wow.
The NBA playoffs were on the brink of cancellation. Now I think they're going to resume the playoffs from what I hear. But, NHL players decided to do it. They have a diversity council in that league. They decided to do it. And there's certain games where baseball players aren't playing. Now, here's the thing. If you want to play, I'm not going to hold that against anybody either. That's fine. Everybody has their different way in doing it. But I did hear a rumor that the Nationals might have wanted to play and they were going to try to take the forfeit. I don't know if that's actually true or not, which would have been totally messed up. But if they wanted to play, they wanted to play. But, at the end of the day, some people are going to use their platform, which is fine. It's a free country. And some people are going to say, you know what, I'm going to sit this out. And, I'm proud of the players who are doing it. They're taking their stance, and some people are getting mad at them. But guess what? It's like, it's a game we all love, but they're going to do what they want to do. You know what I mean? Most people hate when people tell them what to do, and then they're like, you must play. You're punishing us by not playing. I don't agree with that. You know what I mean? No one's saying you have to support the cause if you disagree with it. No one's saying that. But if the players want to express their displeasure this way, then so be it. What do you always hear when someone doesn't like something anymore, Mike? Like a restaurant experience or
They say they're never going back. They're boycotting, and they sometimes will spit on them.
Spit on them, yeah.
Yeah.
Or if they don't want to wear a mask,
Yeah. If the jackasses that'll go out to go shopping and decide, nah, I'm not going to wear a mask. I don't care. Nope.
Yeah. They're being Muppets.
They are.
For sure.
Yep.
So, here's the thing about that, guys. I often hear people go, oh, I'll never watch football. I'll never watch basketball, baseball, and so on ever again. And I'm like, okay, sure. Now, what I say is, I had a friend of mine. It's always interesting when you tell stories of your friends because if they're not listening to your show, they're not going to know you're talking about them. Isn't that amazing? It's like a great tester. So he said, I'll never watch the NBA again because they have these names on the back of the shirt. And I said, that's fine. I mean, do you? I said, me personally, if I was a real big NBA fan, I would not stop watching it because of that, because I'm not going to let the game be stolen from me by a particular moment in history. The game is the game. It's gone through different periods of history. So my contention is when you say that, you A, either don't watch it, so it's easy for you to say that, it's cheap and shallow, or B, you're not a huge fan of that particular sport where you're saying you're never going to watch it again. Because for me, personally, when Michael Vick was signed, a lot of people were upset because of his abuse of dogs, what he went to jail for, etc. I'm a huge dog lover, supporter. I volunteered at a shelter. So I'm not about animal abuse on any level. However, people said I was not going to watch the Eagles anymore. Me personally, nah, I'm still watching the Eagles. And he's gone, and the sport's still here. So, don't let people steal your joy with their causes. You know what I mean? Whether you disagree or you agree with it. And if you want to do that, that's fine too. But I think people are full of crap that I'll never watch it. I will never be back at this establishment again. How dare you? They go into their Yelp mode and channel their inner Karen or Chad. And they're like, oh, okay. I'm, whatever. I'm going to do what I want to do. Fuck you guys. If you don't agree with them, no one's going to chastise you for that. It's a free country. I just think it's stupid, And I actually did buy his Eagles jersey, Michael Vick, and I put it on my dog, just as a sick joke. Just
Too far.
She was cool with it.
The dog was cool with it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure the dog
huge
was perfectly
Michael
fine.
Vick fan. My dog Ibiza is a huge Michael Vick fan. She howled to the moon when he scored a touchdown. No joke.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
So, I mean, listen, you can have your different beliefs. Everybody can. And we're at this point in this country where it's like, and that's your currency because you want to change someone's mind. And, I think we rob each other of teachable moments when it's like, well, okay, I'll give you a personal experience. I was probably 18, and, me and my brothers used to use the word fag all the time. They'd be like, oh, you're a fag. But we didn't mean it like that. We meant it like, it just wasn't meant like that. However, there was a girl that I ended up working with, she was, gay, and she would give me a ride home, and I used that word, and it wasn't directly at her, and she was very offended by it. Now, I could have got all closed up and offended about it, or I could have, I learned from it. We stayed friends, we're not like super friends, but we were civil, respected each other. And guess what? That was a teachable moment. But when we shut people out completely, sometimes we lose all hope for change because it's not a teachable moment. And I think that's where we get at sometimes. So, and for me, when I was 18, I didn't know what it meant. I really didn't, like, historically, right? But she let me know, and then I was sensitive to that, and, I made sure. You know what I mean? And there's not enough empathy or understanding for people's sides. So if we're ever going to get through this, we have to start doing that. You know what I mean? We can't be divided up. We're not getting apolitical here, but I just found it interesting because all I hear is, oh, that kid, he's a patriot that shot 2 people. No, I disagree there. But the point of me bringing that up is it just seems like it doesn't matter what it is. There's an A side and a B side, and one side has to pick it. And that's just not how life is. It's not correct. So, yeah. See, everybody's being sarcastic. I just got called a fag. Nice.
I wasn't going to put that up on the screen.
Nice. Nice. But very good. Very good. Okay. I owe that person one. All right. Anyway, Who did that? So that's what I hear. Like, oh, I'll never watch football. I know people that would say that with the flag kneeling, and whether you're for it or against it, that's not what I'm getting into. I'm not going to get into that. But I loved football before that. When you were a kid, you liked football. Like, people aren't going to stop playing video games because this jerk off. What's your favorite video game over there, Mike?
As of right now, World of Warcraft.
So if you heard the World of Warcraft guy was just this horrible person, like you heard all this stuff, do you think the community would stop playing the game?
No. I mean, it was horrible things happen in video gaming all the time. Mass shootings.
Cornholing.
Talk of abuse, whether it's physical or sexual. I mean, suicide happens a lot within the game world. There's stuff always happening. It doesn't get much mainstream press, but there's always things going on that could cause some kind of uproar. There was a certain instance with Blizzard where there was a lot of boycotting because over in China they had some video game competition with Hearthstone that's owned by the same company that does Warcraft, Blizzard, and a guy got on there and wanted to show support for the protesters over in China during some kind of thing going on, and Blizzard banned him for life from their game, and there was a complete uproar about it, and people were very pissed off to the point where the company had to come out and issue an apology. Things happen all the time, but for me, it's kind of like I could be upset and I'll voice my opinion, but it doesn't affect the game that I'm playing. The game is separate than that person or that entity's actions over whatever they did. I'm not about that boycott life.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do that, and there are situations where I'm not boycotting, but I just refuse to give certain companies my money because of a bad experience or what they may stand for, your best, you can encourage people to do that, and your best bet is to do it, but sometimes that kind of pressure works. But when it comes to sports, I don't think it's applicable. And there's certain companies like, I love Perrier water, but Nestle owns it. I think Nestle's a horrible company, but that's another story. But, for certain things they've done environmentally, we're going to have to let that sort out. I'll help where I can help. Or some people say like, oh, you need to do this. Well, maybe sometimes people can't like be in the streets or protest or do that other stuff because they have to work, and maybe they donate to organizations to help you be able to do that. What do you think about that? You know what I mean? You have to think about this in a three-dimensional way. And I applaud the sports players, for using their platform how they want to, I mean, at some point, are people going to realize, too, that a lot of these sports, I mean, with the exception of hockey, and they're even joining in on it, too, because it's becoming a worldwide thing, are African-American. Duh. I mean, you want them to entertain you, but you don't want them to have any emotion. Come on. Let's be real here, And when you say I'm never going to let anybody take sports or video games from me or whatever I like because something that may have been done, because the game itself exists without that. It's going to be here before and after. And sports has a long, ugly history of racism and things of that nature. If you really want to look at history, I'm not going to get into that. So, listen, if you're just saying, oh, you're going to do that now, it's just because it's something that's touching your nerves right now, politically or ideology-wise. And guess what? Don't let all this stuff rob you from enjoyment in your life. Pay attention to it. Don't be asleep at the wheel. But also don't berate someone for saying, like, hey, I'm going to take a stand, and I'm not going to play today. I heard people crying, like, old boomer men, like, oh, they're punishing everyone. Oh, you can't go a couple days without a baseball game? Come on, man. Like, is it that big a deal? Really? Like, give me a fucking break. I love sports, like, just as much as the next guy. You guys, some of you in a new show, you'll get to really see that when football season launches. But, that's my number one, and we're going to talk about that for a half an hour today, so this won't be the whole show. Don't worry. My football heads, there is going to be some entertainment in the second half of the show, and we're going to go over season win totals. But with that being said, I was saying to Mike, I was talking about this pre-show, and I just kind of felt like, I always felt like people like that are just completely full of shit. It's almost like their selfish response, like, you know what? I'm never going to listen to you, and I'm going to show you. That's right. When I don't turn my Amazon Fire Stick on, you're going to feel that. They're not. Those businesses are so big, they already have that built in, and they'll shift, and people will be like, okay, yeah, I'm cool now. Because people are easy, I think, in a way. You know what I mean? The NFL is the best example. They were like, oh, no kneeling, none of that, no. And now they're like, whoops, that was bad. We're going to make a reversal right there and change our position. You see how quick that is? Because at the end of the day, no one gives a fuck about your feelings. They care about your pocketbook. And they're going to go where the money goes. It's always a financial decision with organizations that big. So that's the reality you have to let set into your brain, is that they don't give a fuck about you. So don't let it like twist your life. Like, don't not talk to people because you're friends for years and they're Trump supporters. Maybe you have an obnoxious thing, and then, you know, individually there's a thing with you guys. That's different. But overall, I hear too much of that. Like, that's bad. And the other way around, like, I've had Trump supporter friends who are like, oh, because, you know, I always hear from them, right, I'm never cutting people off that are on the left. Yes, you are. Shut the fuck up. I've seen people do that too. It's happened to me personally. Everybody always like say, well, the other side does it, doesn't dismiss it. And, well, we both do it. That's true. It means everybody are assholes. So, I mean, you know, don't let this stuff where, like, people you'll never probably break bread with, most likely never meet, determine your daily engagement with people you have to live with peacefully. Am I right, Mike, or am I crazy? Am I getting too philosophical for you over here?
Oh, dude, I think the people in the chat room are loving it. They're saying it, taking it philosophical with the Godfree.
Taking it deep.
I think it's no longer taking it deep. It's taking it philosophical. No, but you're making some good points, and the whole thing of, like, think for yourself and understand this stuff's still going to be there, and let people do their thing, and, you know, I totally agree.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like at the end of the day, there's too much of that going on. You know what I mean? It's too divisive. Like, I used to talk more about the issues on Facebook with people, and I kind of shy away from it. Now these days, I more often go share and go to type and say, nah, never mind, it's not worth it, than I used to. It's going the other way. And I'm like, you know what? I'm out. Because it's unproductive. It's poisonous. People get poisoned by their algorithm on Facebook. I'm a firm believer in that. I've been toying with the idea of taking my personal profile and just morphing it into my page and just existing on Facebook that way. Because, I mean, don't you feel that way, Mike? Like, Facebook is just poisonous, like, at its core. Like, it keeps feeding you the negative shit that you might, you know.
It's poisonous to an extent. It's poisonous to people who can't separate reality from Facebook, who don't realize that, you know, the things that people share are just, one of the things I love about Facebook is people share articles because of headlines nonstop. And then you see, like, where it's from like News This Week.
That's one of my favorite questions,
underthebridge.com or something like that.
I'll post something, and one of my favorite questions is, did you watch the video or did you actually read the article before you commented on it?
Did you either do either of those, and did you look at where the article is from? Is it from a reputable source? And because some of these articles that people share are insanely, like, if it was a true story, like blatantly what they're saying, it would be front page news on CNN, on Fox News, and the excuse I always get is, the mainstream media doesn't want to put.
Right.
No, mainstream media is about ratings first and foremost.
If a masturbating bear would get a 10 on the rating scale, that would be on, like, every second of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be 100% legal.
First and foremost. So if you've got something that's mind-blowing of a story that's freaking people out, but it's on Happy News, you know, Wednesday.com.
Yeah. Another thing is, too, is when you read these clickbait articles, we used to have a segment called Clickbait or Not, and we're going to start doing that again, pick out an article each week and have people vote on it. Is it clickbait or not? And here's the thing about that. And sometimes if you don't see a real news source, like a news station, local news station, something like that, I saw stuff where it's like BLM protester shot someone execution style, or right-winger, does blah, blah, blah. And you look at the source, and it's clickbait. You know what I mean? And they do it for clicks, or someone will just share something because it's feeding into your bias. So you're sharing, you're like, oh, that makes sense. You got to challenge these things and question it, because sometimes it doesn't make sense. Like, if there's an execution style thing that went on with that organization, I guarantee you Fox News would have dry humped it into the sand. They would have dry humped it to death, because
pretty much. Yeah,
and even the other news channels too. Like, they're all the same in what they're out there to do. So we gotta, like, I see people online going, oh, hey, you know, guys, stop being so divisive. And, you know, I feel their pain. You know what I mean? I sent a video to friends the other day, and it was a video of, you know, it's a really pretty girl, and she was doing some fun things, and they're like, man, I thought it was going to be something else. I was like, hey, it's better than a political video, right? So, you know, and they were like, very true, very true.
And as we get closer to that wonderful day, election day, when we get to find out, as we get closer, it's going to get more and more insane. It's going to get more and more shared, and you're going to get to see that the one thing I love about Facebook is you get to see what people that you've invited into your Facebook world, your Facebook timeline, you get a slow reminder of who they really are around election time. Like their real views and their real things that they support come out, and then you're like, wow, like, no, like, that's crazy. What is wrong with you?
Someone asked if they missed worst movie of the 90s. No, you didn't. We pushed it back, but we will, I promise, have that next week. Worst movies of the 90s. Mike probably likes the top 5 one. They're all video game movies, too. Tomb Raider's definitely. It was Tomb Raider in the 90s? I don't think it was, but if it was, it should be in there.
Probably your list of the worst is my list of the best.
We're going to find out. Mike thinks Little Caesars is the best pizza place of all time.
Dude, we've already went through this a million times, and Fish this past Saturday bought a stuffed crust Little Caesars pizza.
Did he have that? Is that the one who had it in here?
And people probably know I snuck in there and ate a slice, one slice.
Yeah, Mike's on keto over here. He was looking at it like it was crack.
I was. Dude, what happened was Fish left, and everybody that was eating that pizza left, and there was one more slice, and it's gone. Goodbye.
Ugh. Yeah.
But yes, back to what you were discussing.
Yeah, but guys, like, listen, you got to create tolerance for one another, and you're not going to like everybody. That's reality. There's people that just rub you the wrong way, and we all met those people. But if players want to protest by not showing up to the game and they collectively did it, no one's being forced to do it, let them do it. You know what I mean? Maybe it's important to them. Maybe they're relating to their teammate. You know, everybody has a strong feeling for against until you hear someone else's personal story, and sometimes it does change it. You know what I mean? I've seen that happen. And that's something that, you know, we need to be more open with each other and just be more empathetic. You know what I mean? We got to stop putting our thumb down on each other. So I'm proud of the players for doing this, personally, because they're doing it collectively, and they're doing it to bring attention to an issue. I don't know if that incident was right or wrong. It looked wrong for me, but I've been putting my head in the sand lately because it's been a little bit too much. But I don't want to talk about that incident. We all know about the Jacob Blake incident and other stuff. I was just bringing up how to maybe manners around the incident. You know what I mean? If something's wrong, it's wrong. Just don't. We got to stop liking stuff because, you know, our side likes it. Wrong is wrong. And that's the problem. Too much tribalism.
Yes. I couldn't agree more.
So, with that being said, you know, there is a lot of boycotts going on in sports. The NHL games postponed. The NHL is following the MLB, NBA, WNBA, and MLS, the Major League Soccer League. I have to say that because not everybody knows what the MLS is. It's tight that they're putting them in the top 5 sports, I guess. With the league officially postponing games following the Jacob Blake shooting, you know, that's what we were just talking about pretty much. So, came after several players, Evander Kane, Matt Duma, criticized the league's response to the boycott sweeping the sports world. So, you know, of course, the man in charge isn't liking this, but that is another discussion itself for another show. But they're all doing it. UFC. I got a great example. I love watching UFC. I'm not particularly fond about Dana White and his politics, but I'm not going to stop watching UFC. You know what I mean? Because he's not fighting in the ring. And maybe I'll get lucky and get to see him punched in the head one day. I don't know. But I'm joking. But he puts out a great product. I mean, you know, that's my example. Before Trump was around, I didn't give a fuck about his politics. I mean, that's his own fault for going on the Republican National Convention. But listen, he said he doesn't care if he gets to smoke. So have at it. I'm still going to watch the fights. You know, because guess what? That's not going to change him. So if you're lucky enough to get into the conversation with the guy, yeah, maybe. I've been calling Dana White when I didn't have a beard and I shaved my head before. No joke. Probably because we're both like, I don't know, stocky white guys.
I do not see it.
I didn't either, but I didn't have a beard. My head was shaved. It was New Year's Eve. Could have been drunk. So. But the NBA pretty much kickstarted the movement on Wednesday after the Milwaukee Bucks elected to stay in the locker room and protest, and have since agreed to continue the season. At first, they thought the season was in jeopardy, and I think they wisely decided to play because I think they could use their platform for good, and it will kind of help unite people. I like sports because I think sports has a table mentality, a uniting mentality. When people are sports fans, they could get past what they might not without that sport, which is a bridge to maybe talking and opening up your heart to each other. Wow, that sounds really sappy, doesn't it? Just wanted to play that to make it sound more manly. No, but that wasn't even manly. So, the Bucks are in Milwaukee, so that's part of the reason why they did it. And good for them, using their fame for that. Because in the past, people would be like, shut up and dribble. Not going to work. Not happening. Not with the younger generation. Sorry, boomers. So, and guess what? If you want them to play, it's just for your entertainment. Read a book. Take a fucking walk. Play a video game. Play canasta. I don't know. Finger pop your own asshole. My point is...
Do not finger pop your own asshole.
Mike says that from like a painful remembrance, like his experience just rings true through the mic about what may or may not have happened to him.
Hemorrhoids hurt.
You gave yourself a hemorrhoid. Wow. That's called when you give yourself a hemorrhoid. Apparently, it's called the tugboat.
I thought that was the hemorrhoid horn.
It's called the tugboat. I'm making it up right now. You give yourself a hemorrhoid, we're gonna call it the tugboat. Hey, Mike, did you give yourself a tugboat? So fucked up. But yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of weird stuff going on. 2020 continues to be a weird fucking year. Is this the weirdest year? I mean, it's safe. It's not even. It's a little half over. We got 4 months left, 5 months left, whatever. I think they got the title. What do you think, Mike?
I mean, I can go and say the weirdest year was when Jenko jeans was invented and people were wearing tubes on their legs. But I mean,
what's weirder is when now that if people still wear Jenko jeans is weirder. Mike, do you?
I agree. No, this year.
Would you ever have the balls to wear Jenko jeans to a wedding?
I think I did. Actually, if I think back to
was it at a Juggalette wedding?
No, it was it's just me and my skater buddies, and one of us got married at an early age, and if I remember correctly, I showed up dressed to the nine. I believe I was wearing something.
All the older people in the back who were like, "For fuck's sake, he couldn't put on a pair of slacks." This piece of shit.
I remember what it was. It was an outside wedding, and the bride and groom were dressed like king and queen, so they were dressed in old-timey gear with a crown and a what does a girl wear? One of those things.
Tiara.
And so they let everybody know that everybody was going to be dressed up, so wear whatever you wanted to wear. And yes, yeah, that was a thing. But no, this year has definitely, and we're not even done with it yet, has taken the cake in terms of my lifetime as the weirdest, craziest ups and downs, from politics to murder hornets to storms to corona to what else has been there. It's just been crazy.
Some would say it would be a roller coaster of a ride. Pun intended. All I know is, sports, everything's been impacted. And now it's even, I just think I wonder what the 60s would have been like if it happened during social media, right?
As of right now, I just want to point out, and the snowball effect that that the coronavirus has really wreaked havoc on every aspect of our culture. I mean, if you look at it now, and we talk about wrestling every now and then, and we're talking about sports as well. Did you see what they're doing? I just want to bring this up real fast. Did you see what WWE is doing in terms of not having a crowd in the stands?
No.
So I'm going to bring this up right now.
You should, because I was wondering that the other day.
It is called, Vince McMahon has deemed this the Thunderdome.
That's it. We're close. Mad Max is coming, everybody.
It's the Thunderdome. And what Thunderdome is a million.
I want you to show a picture to everybody of Mad Max in the Thunderdome, just so they get a visual of what we're talking about.
I will do that. But I just want to give a little bit of because there's somewhere I'm going with this, and I don't think you know about this one.
I do not.
So, in terms of the Thunderdome, it really is, as you can see, down here in the front row, it's just a bunch of TVs and people watching from home. And I'm guessing they've paid some kind of premium to have their face and you get to be in first row, second row, third row, the nosebleed seats while you're in your own home. Like, this is pretty impressive, right?
That is pretty impressive.
Now, but check this out. What they didn't realize was that people were going to show up.
Oh, fuck.
Dressed as the Ku Klux Klan or show up as Chris Benoit.
That's dynamite. Dynamite.
So
what a good find. Are you kidding me? So that's called not knowing your fan base and who buys your product. That's WW. Did you really think about that? Did you really think that one through?
I am surprised.
Was there not a delay? Like not even a 7 second. We can get a delay here. I mean, like there is a delay on the social media. Like, so is that really, like, they didn't think this through, did they?
I'm seriously wondering why there hasn't been more nudity. So here's a quick picture. I found this real fast, and it is very similar. The Thunderdome from Mad Max. That's what you asked for, right?
Yes.
Yes. So there's that, and you can see it's just like that, but they're
show us a picture where they're like riding all their bikes and stuff, because I was bringing it up because you're showing me this Thunderdome, so to speak, in Philadelphia on Saturday and Friday nights and sometimes Sundays. Is somewhat resembles Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome, because everybody's riding down Broad Street and all the side streets with untagged four-wheelers, doom buggies.
I can't find it.
Mopeds, you name it. Some of the stuff is, legal, but there's doom buggies. Yeah.
Now here's the crazy thing. Yeah, the fact that we haven't seen a nip, the fact that we haven't seen a pair of nuts on WWE right now, or at least nobody's captured that one on screen.
No nip slips. I mean, come on, guys.
I'm telling you, the WWE universe is doing a disservice by not having a nip or some kind of like craziness happen.
That's the nip slip sonar.
No other.
Is there a nip slip out there?
No other federation is doing anything quite similar to the Thunderdome. This is a WWE only thing that they're doing right now, and they're trying to figure out how to stop people from doing this. But that's how they've kind of figured out how to get people back in the crowd, in the stands, is the Thunderdome.
Let me ask you a question. If you're walking in a supermarket, public place, you walk past a lady, and you see her nipples out, she's got a nip slip going on, do you tell her?
No.
You don't say, hey, your nipple's out?
No. You watch, you enjoy, you elbow the person next to you.
I would tell her nipple is out.
Now, here's the thing.
I mean, I would hope she would take it as I'm doing her a favor and not go, why are you looking at my nipples? Because the thing is she could theoretically shop the rest of the time, like say she's in the supermarket and her nipples out the whole time and no one told her. Would you rather be told or not told? I mean, I'm not a woman, so I wouldn't know. But, I mean, if my nipples out, I would want to be told.
I would just stare. I would try and get a quick picture, and I'd move on. And if I was with a lady, I'd be like,
wait, you would try to take a picture?
Yes, absolutely. I'm that kind of creep.
That's kind of voyeuristic.
Yeah, I'm that kind of creep. I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
Okay, well, I'm not taking a picture of the nip slip.
You get on the Thunderdome. You have a screen. You're on WWE, SmackDown. Do you put anything on the screen? Or do you just watch and enjoy?
So, like, if I'm a fan and I'm there?
Yeah.
There's two extremes we can go.
Yeah.
One could be I show up with a banana hammock only.
See, and that's not nudity. I'm sure Vince would be okay with that.
Yeah, I would just sit there and relax and enjoy it. You know what I mean?
But a banana hammock is pretty much
so
like
as a fan, is it like you're having a closer in-ring experience, I guess?
I haven't seen any of the images from the fans' point of view.
It's got to be VR, right, to be worth it?
Oh, if they did VR, 100% I'd be in there.
I do it.
But I don't know if
Mike be in there being like, oh, man, I wonder if the quality's good enough so I can catch a nip slip.
I don't know if the people up front get a better webcam view than the people in the back. Now, I don't know how this fully works. I just know that this is Vince's big reveal.
Maybe they could do smell-o-vision?
But your banana hammock would be just the same as all the other wrestlers, so.
Yeah, but someone had to wear a Ku Klux Klan shirt, and what was the other one? Chris Benoit.
Chris Benoit.
There's always someone that's going to push the edge. They're probably Opie and Anthony's kids, or those guys are really.
But so this is one avenue that sports could go down. Remember, WWE has had a lot of technology that the NFL has taken, especially from XFL. Do you think that this is a way that the NFL could kind of continue with a crowd, other than what they've been doing, which is cardboard cutouts in the crowd or stuffed animals in the crowd. Do you think that this could work?
I think it could work.
In
I
Philly? Wait a second. Imagine that's all Philly fans, Philadelphia Eagles fans. You're going to tell me nobody's going to show up painted green with a green dick?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, anybody. Yeah. I mean, especially if they start having like virtual tailgates and shit like that. That's gonna happen. If I was a company, I would be promoting virtual tailgates. If I was Budweiser, I'd be getting with Zoom and be like, listen, let's have virtual tailgates. Because there's going to be fans that want to have that experience but don't want to have the Corona experience. And somewhere you say, well, no big deal, I'm going to go anyway. That's your choice, no problem. However, there'll be a certain set of fans that don't feel that way either. Me personally, like I always said, football, we're a spectator sport around. So, but that idea, though, I think has some legs. I think it does. I mean, Vince is getting the right idea. He's trying to figure out how to get fucking revenue back in the arena without getting people in the arena, right? If I was him, I would partner with GoPuff and places like that, and have like a WWE snack time delivery where they have like they can go back to the old school ice cream bars with the wrestlers on them.
Yes,
remember them? Gets nostalgic with that. Little pack comes in there, and there's your concession sales right there. Boom, give a little piece.
Mm-hmm. Little piece.
People are showing up at Phillies games, and I love that with the air horn. They got a car
outside of the
I love that, and I think they've been showing up if they can to other cities, which is awesome. Like and the Yankees complained about it. They're like, oh, they have an air horn on, and it's like, brrr. So I love that. I think that's great. Keep showing up, blowing the air horn. I love because it's. I didn't like the pumped in fan noise. I feel like I'm playing a video game. I want to hear the natural sounds, and I love that the fans are out there, whoever could be out there making sounds. Everybody's, I guess, comfort level with how they're going to engage with the population is different. But like me, the day job, I got to be near people, and I got to take precautions. I'm wearing a mask the whole time, and it's just like, then people will be like, you play softball? How could you do that? I'm like, fuck you, dude. I have to work 50 hours a week. Or 40 hours a week at the day job, and I got to deal with people. So softball won't kill me. Thank you very much. We wear a mask if you're on first base. There's rules. We actually had people complain we weren't social distancing enough, believe that or not. They were taking pictures of us from the window in the neighborhood, and they called the league and complained. Wasn't that was cute, wasn't it? So now the ump's like, keep your distance. You're out. Keep your distance. I'm sorry. Wait. Keep your distance. You got your mask on? All right. Counts 3-2. Let's go. Play ball. It's fucking softball now.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. And because, there was some Karen going, oh, no. Oh, they're not social distancing enough. How dare they? Look at them. Pardon me. Do you have any Grey Poupon? Remember those commercials?
Yes.
I actually was looking that up the other day, and I had some Grey Poupon the other day. Highly underrated condiment, I'm going to say. Grey Poupon, I'm a fan. It's pretty damn spicy.
You heard it here first, folks.
It's pretty damn spicy. By the way, Grey Poupon, want to make a comeback? We're looking for sponsors. You come at us and take it deep. They're never going to call us now. But, yeah, guys, we're about to jump in on that football, and we got Uncle Pat on the line. And he's going to come in. We're going to start talking about that football swag because I know some of you like both, some of you like one, or some of you don't like either. Who gives a shit? But as football season gets closer, the second half of the show will be football. And Uncle Pat is on the line. As long as I figure out how to pick up the goddamn phone.
I was going to wait and see if you got it. You want me to get it?
Do I got to click the mouse? Talk? And talk. I got it. Pat, what's up?
I'm here. Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. Uncle Pat on the line, live and in charge. Are you taking it deep?
I am taking it deep.
I knew it. We got to make sure you cut that. We got to do that for a promo.
Great.
Yeah. We still got we still have the clip of Edwin saying I like touching cocks, just to let you know. We're going to start playing that again. We found that classic. So football time is upon us, Pat. It is sneaking up on us, isn't it?
Oh my God, yeah, it's right around the corner. If they have a season.
Well, let's pretend this segment that they will have a season, if you will. Let's use our imagination. I think you might be right about that, but I do think of all the sports, football is going to power through it. Remember what I said? I always said we were going to reopen up before Memorial Day because no one's shutting down the damn Jersey beaches. Remember, I said that we were both saying that, remember? It could have been carnage on the streets.
Most time to be able to prepare for it.
Yeah, it could have been carnage on the streets, and they would have been opening up like Jaws. Remember, what's the line a guy says? You know how many people come through here in the summertime? Go Bills. Ooh, anyway. So, yeah, the Bills, man, they were favored to win the NFC or AFC East, Pat, and they are not favored now. As I correctly called Cam Newton to the Patriots. And that has happened.
You did a long time ago.
Yeah, Fishman over here on Saturday nights. He's a Bills fan. He likes to be tortured.
That guy's a great quarterback. A lot of heart.
Which one?
Cam Newton.
Yes. He's got
a lot of heart.
So, I mean, I haven't, there's no preseason games. People are doing fantasy football drafts, but a lot of them are on there, and they're doing them later on because of the uncertainty. People are done opting out by this point. But we are... Pat, are you alive? You okay? Pat.
So which league we're going to start with first?
Well, what league? We're going to go with the WNBA. No, I'm just joking. You mean AFC, NFC. Well, we're going to go with the AFC first, but I will say to you this. These players are ready to play, and I think they're going to have a season because if players opt out or they can't play because of COVID-19, there's a guy waiting to get to play. There's some thirsty people. They're going to make football happen. I just think they are. Just like they made taxes still happen eventually. They made, all this other stuff happen. I just think it's on that level, but we'll see. I hope I'm wrong, but, someone said, is Uncle Pat dying? No, he's not. He is still alive. But, he likes doing zoomies. Wait, what is a zoomie?
What?
Not a zoomie. Pat's doing CO2 shots. No, I'm joking. So, what do you call that?
Fine.
It was something like, it sounded something like this.
Am I losing you?
No, you're back. So, that being said, we are going to go down the line. So, we're going to go with some AFC teams first. Have you been watching Hard Knocks on the HBO? That?
No, I'm not a big fan of Hard Knocks.
Okay. I love Hard Knocks. Get that on tape, I guess.
I know you do.
Yeah. Yep.
I count on you to hear what they got to do.
Yep.
It's a TV show.
Well, they got the Chargers and the Rams on it this year, so I figured we'll go with the Chargers first since they're an AFC team. They got the...
Oh, yuck.
You don't like that one, huh? So...
That's a fucking 2-14 team.
You think so, huh? Okay. We're going to keep track of this, guys. Don't you worry, as we did last year. So the over-under for the Chargers win total is 7.5, 7.5.
Oh, my God. That's an easy under.
I'm taking the over.
That's an easy under. Okay, fair enough.
Yep. So we got our other AFC West champ, Kansas City Chiefs. Their total is 11.5.
Kansas City Chiefs 11.5. I'd say over. I think they're 12-14.
I'm gonna go under because that little 0.5 jerk off thing. I'm gonna go under.
Of course, they're the Super Bowl champs. They're expected to have the hardest schedule for the next upcoming season.
Ravens are 11.5 as well.
I'm a Raven. I'm a big Ravens fan.
Well, you mean a Lamar Jackson fan?
Correct, big time.
So they're 11.5.
I hated the Ravens because I thought they're a bunch of thugs, but I love the Ravens.
Tell us how you really feel. Okay, so 11.5.
Over.
Okay, I'm going to go under. Audience seems to agree with me. New Orleans Saints 10.5. Oh no, you know what? We'll get back to the Saints. Don't leave the Saints off. We went off track there. So I just want to hit the AFC West. The Broncos, they're another one. Oh, man, they're going to be in the middle of the pack. They're a hard one to call. 7.5 as well for them. I'm willing to go over on the Broncos, 7.5.
Well, I was thinking they're an 8-18, so I'm going to go over on that one too.
Oakland Raiders, easy. I'm going under 7.5. Or Las Vegas Raiders, I'm sorry.
Ooh. 7.5. 7.5. This is
These are
Gruden's
win totals, folks,
year?
by the way. Say what?
Yeah, Gruden's third year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're playing in a brand new stadium. They got to do better than that. I'm going over.
Okay, I'm going under.
Just because they're in a new city.
Okay. I'm going with
they're going to have to prove themselves to bring people next year.
The Buffalo Bills we're going to hit next. We're going to go to the AFC East and just go across the state. They're at 9.
I like the over. I think they got an incredible. They might have the best defense in the NFL.
Okay.
It's going to be hard to beat that team.
So that's a tough one for me because I think that's a push. I don't know where to go on a push. Do I go over or under? And I'm gonna go with over on that. But the next team is the Patriots, and they are at 9.5, who are now favored to win the AFC East. You going over or under?
They're the favorite?
Yep.
They're a favorite.
To win the AFC East. Once they signed Cam Newton, they became a favorite by -10.
Ay. I mean, as much as I like Cam Newton's play, I think that's an under. I mean, I think that's an 8-18 at best.
I'm gonna.
9 is the.
I think they're gonna go 10-6 and beat the Bills in a tiebreaker.
Oh, I don't think so.
Yep. Well, listen.
Okay, I think the Bills are the reason why they don't make it to 9-7.
Fish goes, yes, Uncle Pat. Fish is a Bills Mafia guy. So my thing on the Bills is this. I think they do have some good talent on the team. I think they got a good coach. I think they have a good organization the way it's going right now. However, Josh Allen, I have the same knock on him that I have on Lamar Jackson. I just think Lamar Jackson's more talented. And Josh Allen makes some really bad mistakes at the quarterback position. Now, has he improved? I don't know. It's been a weird offseason. I'm here training camp reports saying he's starting to lead receivers. He should be leading receivers already. He's not strong at passing. Defenses are going to come after him in the red zone, so they're going to have to hand it off to their newly drafted rookie, Zach Moss, and they're going to have to find other ways to get it in the receiver's hand in the end zone. Maybe Dawson Knox gets better. I'm not sure. John Brown's smaller. They have Stephon Diggs now, but my question is, how can Stephon Diggs have the same production? Because Josh Allen isn't a good throwing quarterback. So I have a tough time.
You really got to use the RPO with that guy.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Let's see if he can execute it. I just don't see it. I see them coming in second in the division, maybe getting a 6th wild card. Sean,
I mean, just to get him an extra second back there, you're going to have to use some misdirection. But I think they will. I just think they will.
Gotcha. So then
I think it's their first taste of having the opportunity to win a division in a long time, being in the same division as the Patriots, and I think they're hungry for it.
Okay.
So you know how I feel about hungry teams or hungry players.
Cows are hungry too, but they're still laying down in grass and eating it. Just letting you know.
Would you say Dallas?
Cows, like they lay.
Oh, okay.
They're hungry. I don't know. Well, we'll see. The Jets 6.5 wins. That should be an easy one. Unfortunately, poor Jets fans.
Yeah, you know how I feel about the Jets.
6.5. I'm gonna have to go under. I think they got some talent on the team actually, but that coach just seems to be a blithering idiot. So the Dolphins are the other AFC team. They're 6. I didn't like some of their draft picks. We'll see how the team matures. But they're at 6 wins.
They got that 6'7", 365-pound lineman. Nobody wants to practice against them.
The guy in the Jets? Talking about the Jets guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was his name? I forget his name, but I know you're talking about. You're telling me about him the other night. So The Dolphins.
Oh my God.
The Dolphins definitely went over their win total last year. They surprised everybody. This year it's up to 6. I think last year it was either 4 or 4.5. I think it was 4.5, if I'm not mistaken. And the Dolphins are now a whole game and a half. They said they've approved. I'm gonna say, man, I hate this one. I'm gonna say, they're under. I think they got a lot of development that needs to happen on that team, and this type of offseason isn't going to help that. I'm going to be leaning toward a lot more veteran teams this year because they already have systems in place. That's why the Eagles are my favorite for the NFC East. I know I'm an Eagles fan, so I know you guys are like, oh, of course. Well, I might have thought differently, but, new coach for the Redskins, new coach for the Cowboys, and new coach for the Giants. So they have a whole system they have to implement. They're all three teams that are on different phases of the rebuild. So the Eagles are going to win the NFC East, I think, because of continuity, if nothing else. I don't see any team being light years from the Eagles as far as overall talent. Andre Diller's injured. I don't think that's that big of a loss. But, we'll get into the NFC East win totals now because we've already gotten to the AFC East. So the Eagles they have at 9.5, and they have the Cowboys at 9.5. Both are at 9.5. Yeah.
That's a rough one. I mean, I kind of see them. I kind of see the Eagles at 9-17.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I kind of see Dallas at 8-8 at its best.
I think the Eagles.
Talent, the Cowboys. I just think they're mismanaged. I think their quarterback blows. I don't see them.
I think the Eagles get 10. I think Dallas gets 9 or 8. And I said this about Dallas last year. They drafted CeeDee Lamb, but can Dak Prescott make the reads? Can he look at 3 different receivers and make those reads correctly and throw the ball downfield? When he has to throw the ball, when they are behind, they will lose. A lot of teams do that where a quarterback isn't that great at throwing the ball and engineering comebacks. And, he happens to be one of those guys. Not my opinion, but the tape shows it. And that's why I'm a little down on them. I think Dak Prescott should have took that money. Now, who knows what he's going to get, especially if he has a bad season. I don't know if he'll have a bad season. Statistically, he did good last year. But, I think
quarterback salaries come down to pride anymore regarding what they get paid.
No, I just think he's probably thinking this is his one max contract he'll get. So, but hey, his consolation prize wasn't horrible. I think it was like $20 million or something like that, whatever it was. But, the Cowboys, I don't think they have a lot of depth. They're in cap trouble. The Eagles are going to be in cap trouble next year, especially. It's going to be close. It's going to be between them two. I think the Eagles could get 10 wins. I think Dallas is a 9-win team, so I'm going to go slightly under. Next we have the Washington Redskins, the Washington football team. Jesus. 5.5. 5.5 wins.
5.5. Fucking 5.5. They got an upgraded coach. Everything's still up in the fucking air. I'm going over with them. I think that they're going to beat Dallas once or twice. I really don't. I think Dallas is going to have like an 8-8 season. I think Washington ekes a win out of them, at least one. Yeah. And I think the Giants are weak, so Redskins get to play them twice. I think they're better than the Giants. So I think that's 2 wins right there for them. So 1 against Dallas, 2 against the Giants gives them 3. So they just need 3 more out of 13. Yeah, I'm going with the over.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me because the Redskins have a new coach. I think Ron Rivera is a little bit overrated, but he does bring some stability, I think, as far as how to run a ship. I mean, as we're learning about the Redskins organization.
But I still like him.
Yeah, I think the more and more comes out about the Redskins.
He took all the ping pong tables and air hockey tables out of the fucking locker
room. Well, that too, but
the first day that he was hired.
That's that. So but talent has to.
Serious.
Pat, talent has to be there. And here's my thing with this team. And is that someone brought the word Felcher in. Matt, the king of Felchers, Mr. Mears. Sometimes people open bottles because
of Felchers.
No, I saw a king of Felchers. But back to the Redskins, 5.5. I think I'm going to go under on it. I think they're going to have a good defense. It makes me a little nervous. I'm just going to go over. I think they're going to have some close games. I think they're going to be a tough defense for a lot of teams. They got some talent there. I don't know about the quarterback situation. And again, a new system. So I just don't see it. But, that organization might have benefited from a coaching change because the more and more we hear that comes out about what was going on there, the more and more it makes sense why they weren't successful. The culture there was just out of whack. And that's just part of the reason. Now, the Giants...
That's what I'm saying. I think Ron Rivera's reeling that in, that culture. So that's what I'm leaning on. And I think it's his personality. I think he's going to be able to get the players that are going to play harder for him than he did the previous coach. So I think he could take the same group of mutts and get more out of them.
Yeah, well...
I mean, again, I don't think he's God's gift, but I think the right coach for the right players.
Yeah, I don't know how many wins they make a difference in, but the Giants have a better offensive line. They have upgraded some things. They have talent on that team. But again, we have a new coach. We have an unknown coach. Ron Rivera is a little bit more of a known commodity, or I should say a lot more than Coach Judge is his name. That is the coach of the Giants. But who knows anything about this guy who used to be a Patriots assistant coach? And the Giants themselves, their win total is 6.5. Do they go over?
So it's higher than the Redskins, huh?
Yep.
Okay. 6. I'm going under.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over. I don't think they're gonna be as bad as people think, but that's a true gamble right there because who knows anything about this coach that was an assistant for the New England Patriots. So gonna go to the AFC North, which is going to be our last division today, and then we're going to go over the other divisions next week. We're going to wrap up here in a couple minutes. Mike has a Hot Pocket convention he's going to, and I just want to take care of that. Mike falls asleep during the sports portion. He's like, fuck, talking sports now. But, so, I will have a surprise here for you. The AFC North, Cleveland Browns, Pittsburgh Steelers, the Baltimore Ravens, and I have a shocker of a prediction here. You guys are going to think I'm crazy. And the Bengals. The Ravens are at 11.5. Over or under, Pat?
Over.
I'm under. In fact, I think they make the playoffs, but I think there might be a new division winner this year, and you guys are going to think I'm nuts. So, that's like no way in hell. So, the next team is the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Steelers that we're bringing up. 9 wins, over or under?
Under. I hate the Steelers.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the thing.
Gray Bird's is getting too old, man.
Graybeard.
The team has just met the Mets.
Well, I think he might have a good. If he's healthy, he might have a good year in him. 9's a lot. They were able to muster out 8 wins with nobody's at quarterback, so I'm going to go over on the 9. And I think.
Well, how old is Roethlisberger now? What's he like, 60?
Yeah. Yeah, I think they'll be at 9 wins. I would go with a push. So I guess if I think it's going to be 9, Pat, I'm going under, right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I think they are a 9-win team, maybe a 10-win team. And it wouldn't surprise me to have a resurgence. So I'm going to go over. Screw it. I'm going to stick with it. I still think the Ravens finish better than them. At 10 wins or maybe, 11. But here is the shocker here, guys. I say Cleveland Browns win the division this year. They're 8.5 for their total.
Oh, you talking about the Browns?
Yep.
Oh, God. Good quarterback. You kind of expect them to do good every year, but they don't. They just friggin' don't.
Well, when
I don't know.
When you look inside the hashes here, they upgraded their offensive line. They added Austin Hooper. They added some other weapons. They have a new coach, Kevin Stefanski, that is a run-first style coach. And I just like to bring everybody back to a game. Last year, they smoked the Ravens 40-8 in Baltimore on the road. So they have the ability to beat that team. They smoked them. Their defense is going to be a lot better, I think. They got Myles Garrett back, who got in a fight with the backup quarterback on the Steelers last year. And I got to tell you, that's my surprise division winner this year is the Cleveland Browns, having more wins than the Ravens and winning the division. I think it's going to be like maybe a tiebreaker situation where it's a head-to-head record and it's 11-5, both of them. I think this is going to be an up year for them, and I think Cleveland we'll have a reason to celebrate. I really do. Think it's going to be less on Baker.
I'd really like to see a change there at the top. I'd love to see the Browns do good.
Would you take it in the Brown?
They just how much?
1,000.
2 grapes.
No, I'll pass.
2 grapes.
Very much.
Well, listen, that is all we have this week. We'll have Uncle Pat on next week. We'll talk about some of the other divisions as we run out of time here on Taking It Deep with the Godfree. Me and Pat, as football season gets closer, you'll hear more of Uncle Pat, and you'll hear more of football because we love football here. If the season gets delayed, we're going to start covering professional badminton and giving you the odds on that. So I like the Szechuan Whackers as the first place finisher in the professional badminton week. You ever hear them, Pat?
Listen, if you listen to the South American announcers, they can make 2 flies having a race sound exciting.
That's true.
So
Ricky Ricardo, when he did the Eagles
make
call,
fun of it.
Ricky Ricardo, I don't know if you guys remember that. It was a great call in Spanish. Then,
dude, I can only understand about every 5th word, but I just go off of his enthusiasm
and emotion.
Excitement.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
Well, thanks for calling in, Pat. Thanks for
Hey.
And you have a good day.
Yeah.
And we will hear from you next week.
My daughter just texted and said she's bringing over your dog food. Remember, you owe me a vig.
Yeah, okay. My vig says SMFTB, or I'm sorry, SMFDB.
Yeah, I know. Call me back after the show.
All right, you take it deep.
Peace, bro.
So that is it for Pat. That is it for us. Thanks for listening, guys. You can get the show on. I forgot to make a special announcement. The T-shirts, and we have an Android app that works now. If you download Toxic Radio in the Play Store, it is free. You get all kinds of goodness. This has been years running, and this is a huge moment here. We have an Android app that works. I am gushing right now. And we also, if you go to the Toxic Radio store, what is the address for that, Mike?
Just go to toxicradio.net. I'll tell you in 2 seconds what the exact address is, but if you just hit the store option at the top, it'll take you right to there. So through the app, you just hit the store option, go to toxicradio.net, hit the store option, and I'm going to show everybody what they can get right here.
The first 5 people to buy a Toxic Radio shirt, a Taking a Deep shirt, or a heavy metal shirt, happy hour shirt. We will give you a refund. You have to show us a timestamp receipt for the first 5 buyers of one of these great products.
When he says we, he means he. That means Matt is going to give you.
This is being sponsored by Taking It Deep.
I just want to clarify so nobody's hit me up on Instagram and Twitter.
Only the first 5 buyers, so it has to be confirmed, and it has to be a timestamp. And yeah, that's what we're gonna make happen. I mean, me personally, I like this shirt down in the bottom left the most. Or is that's the left, right? Yeah. To Taking a Deep shirt. Yeah, I'm gonna buy one of those. We're gonna come up with a Taking a Deep thong too. Don't you worry, ladies.
Yes.
Yeah. And it'll be reversible. So, with that being said, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for taking time. iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, podcast for Google. All that shit and happy shit. And Google the name Taking It Deep with the Godfree. Subscribe, sharing's caring. Give the page a like at Taking It Deep with the Godfree on Facebook and catch all of our videos. And do not forget ToxicRadio.net that has all of our great shows on it. Fishman's coming on Saturday at what time there? 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock?
He comes on at 7 o'clock. 7
and he ends it whenever he wants to. So he could go 4 hours or 2 hours, 1 hour. You don't know.
Exactly.
So we're all about random toxicity here. Just kidding. But with that being said, thanks for tuning in, and this is the Godfree, not saying goodbye, saying take it deep.